Hey, Al. Hope you're doing well and Happy New Year to you. So, when I started at NFPA back in April of 2020, they let me onto this internal, I would say secret project at the time called NFPA LiNK. And if you're not familiar with NFPA LiNK, we're going to give you a little more details about that today. Hopefully, you already are. So I started in April of 2020. It was first rolled out in September 2020. So I did some of the back end building for the direct situations and things like that leading up to it. But when I was explained, the project, and I found out that I could have the NEC in my pocket on the job site, as well as any other NFPA code and standard, I thought it was a game changer. I thought about the times when I was on projects. Maybe it was a multi-story project. I was working on the 8th floor, and the gang box was down on the 1st floor with the code book in it. So maybe I needed to guess something about the code because I wasn't going to go down 8 flights to come back up 8 flights. Maybe not the best decision at the time, but maybe that's what was done anyway. And if I got it right, great. If I got it wrong and the inspector caught it on their inspection, now I'm up against redoing the work. So there's a cost there, a reinspection fee. There's a cost there. So to me, I started thinking about all those times, and then also as an electrical contractor, all the people I had in the field, where if I could have had this in their pocket, it would have made a ton of sense for saving time and money. So to me, it was a game changer at the time. Over the last 5 years since it's been rolled out, we've continually made improvements. A lot of the main features we had there are there, and they've just been improved upon. We've listened to a lot of customer feedback and made some improvements there. So we kind of picked away at some improvements. But this month, we rolled out what I would say is next level of improvements, the next generation of NFPA LiNK. And I want to go into those features with you today to just give you a little tutorial on it and show you what's there. So let's jump over. This is my desktop on NFPA LiNK as of this morning. And if you're already an NFPA LiNK user, you're already going to go, this doesn't look like my desktop did yesterday. No, it doesn't. That was one of the things that was done is the desktop was reworked. One of the main things that even as an NFPA employee that uses this all the time that drove me nuts was I couldn't move my favorites, which are all these publications over here I've got. So these are the ones I use all the times that I've saved as my favorites or want quick access to. When I added them as a favorite, it just dumped them into the dashboard and never allowed me to move them where I wanted them. So with this, I have the ability to grab this. If I grab these 6 dots up here and slide these wherever I want them. I can move it down. I can move it where it goes. So I have these, to the point where it's kind of the way I use them. I don't use the California amendments much, but if I have a client or somebody that calls about that, I have that there and accessible. But the 2026 NEC was just rolled out last fall. I know a lot of states aren't using it yet. I think Massachusetts may have started using it here as of the 1st of January, but they're usually the first ones, and then it goes from there. But a lot of people are still using the 2023 or even before, so I can go back and reference the other ones if I want to. But I still have the 2023 here as a reference point. But this is great. There's the ability to now slide the dashboard back and forth how we want to see it. So, we can split it right down the middle if we want, push this off to the side. We still have our bookmarks and collections there. We do have another set of tabs across the top here now where we have our favorites, which we're on. If I click on offline, here's the things that I have saved in offline. Now, what does offline mean? I can have this wherever I have my device, even if I don't have internet access or Wi-Fi. So if I'm on a job site, maybe in a tunnel, maybe I'm down there with my crew, they've got a question about the NEC that they're not sure of. I'm trying to get an answer for them right away before I leave. I can pull this out and utilize the 2026 NEC offline. Or they could do the same. If I put this in all my employees' pockets, and they're on the job site and looking for the answer themselves, they don't have to come out of the tunnel, get Wi-Fi access, get cell coverage. It's right there at their fingertips. So that's pretty cool. And then this last tab has all the new NFPA codes and standards. So as you guys know, everything's on a cycle, typically a 3-year cycle for our codes and standards. So these are all the ones that have been rolled out recently with their new additions. So if these apply to you, great, check them out. But at least it's there, so you can kind of see what's going on and what new ones are out there. So that's a pretty cool feature. This one that's sitting up here in the upper left corner that I kind of bypassed when I was talking bookmarks and collections is probably what may be driving some curiosity, especially for the existing users. So this is Casi, and this is everything, as you know, is going AI in the world. So now AI is built into NFPA LiNK to help you search for things. So, for example, if I want to say, how often must I support and EMT conduit. And we pull that up. It's thinking, and now it's giving us, it's referencing the 2026 NEC. We've got that. So general spacing, it's every 10 feet, secured within 3 feet of each outlet box. Okay. We've got some exceptions. If we've got unbroken lengths of EMT where structural members do not allow fastening within 3 feet, fastening distance can be increased to 5 feet. So we've seen that before in commercial buildings where maybe we've got roof trusses that are 5 foot on center. So we can't get that 3 feet without dropping, a trapeze in to get the support in place. So you have that, if it's an unbroken length, there's no couplings in between, you have the ability to extend that 3 feet out to 5 feet for support. So this is all things you may already know, but I'm just showing you this as an example of how it works with the AI feature. If you want to go to the actual section and read it verbatim, you can do that. It's going to pull us away here from that, but then we can jump back over to our dashboard if we want to and go back into our AI. Go to the dashboard here. Okay, so I was getting ahead of myself a little bit here on my last click, but let me show you where we're going next with the new feature, and that is the notebooks feature. So that's that notebook up there in your upper left hand side. And I'm going to jump into, so the way notebooks work, you can create whatever you need. So as an electrical contractor, we always had rough inspections. Our crews were out, and maybe we've got 6 different crews that are working on projects. A couple of them are working on rough walls, and they're going to be having inspections. A lot of the stuff that's done is similar. So if we want to create checklists or things of that nature to share with our crews, to be consistent in what we do and what we verify, this feature is going to work awesome for you. You can do these checklists, by what you're doing. You can do it by the specific job site. If you want to create a new notebook and put in the job address or the job name, you can do that. You can copy these checklists. If you jump over here, you have the ability to copy, share, and we'll get to the share thing in a moment, and use all these however you want to see fit. So this one I built here is, says this checklist is intended to be used for quality control prior to rough inspections to minimize failed inspections and reinspection fees. So again, going back to what I was saying earlier, nothing's worse as a contractor or an employee is costing money that you don't need to cost. So if you can do this right without having those things, it's better for everyone. But just going through the steps here that I've thrown in. Ensure all boxes are properly supported and any support brackets are the proper depth for the wall. We've used, 3.5-inch brackets, 6-inch brackets, for wall supports for boxes so they don't flop around. Make sure those are the right ones. We didn't have a 6-inch wall that got a 3.5-inch bracket used, and now we're not going to have that support we need. Verify all the conduits and cables are properly fastened and supported in metal stud walls. Okay, with that, I've got the fasten and support code sections here. So if I hit this, it's just going to do a pop-up and give it to me right there so I can look at it. If I want to jump over to the other one, that's there as well. If we jump down here, we've got at least 6 inches of free conductor. So in this one, I actually, when I put it in initially, I put in the wrong section. So I'm going to go delete that one back out of there, and I'm going to put, I'm going to go to NFPA 70 2026 is what I want. And I actually wanted 300.16a, and this was 300.14 in the 2023 NEC, but it moved a little bit for the 2026 based on some other stuff that was done ahead of it in that codes article. So if I save that, now I've got that right article in here. And what do I need? Okay, 6 inches of free conductor measured from the point in the back. So I've got what I need in there for my employees to reference while they're out in the field. Ground pigtails, make sure they're in place. I gave a little picture that I placed in here. And these don't have to be, and they aren't, pictures from Link. These are going to be pictures that you're going to upload yourself. So if you have a picture of an actual ground pigtail installed, the way you guys specifically like to do it, if there's something specific to your company, you have the ability to just put your own picture in there to show what you want to show. And some other things down in here, fire stopping and putty pad. So we put an example in here so people know what a putty pad after it's installed should look like. We've got the full box covered. We got it wrapped around tight to the stud. We've got it going down around the MC cable, so it's covered there. So you've got some options here. Down here, we've got our last item being, give the approval tag to the GC superintendent, so they have it, but also make sure, this is a company internal thing, right? Make sure we take a picture of it before we give it to them, so we have it for our records, and email it to your project manager so they have it and they can put it on file back in the office for the project. So there's a lot of different things you can do here. This is just one that I kind of threw together based on, what we might have done when I was still on the contracting side of the business. So these are pretty cool features for NFPA LiNK. Again, if you haven't used it before, there's a free trial you can get by going to nfpa.org/link, LINK. 14-day free trials, just email based. And then there's some other options there. So there's options for just single user if you want to do the monthly or yearly. There's presets for 5 and 10 users. If you go beyond 10 users, you can get a quote. But I can tell you, if I was still in the contracting business, I would have this in the pocket of every employee I have, just knowing that it's going to be a cost savings for me from that rework, reinspection fees, all those things that happen in the field when we just don't have the code book right in front of us. NFPA 70E, right? That's something we need for electrical safety for workers. If we're doing that, we should have that accessible right at our fingertips and usable. And NFPA LiNK does that for you. So I hope this is helpful. If you haven't done it already, go grab that free trial, nfpa.org/link. And remember, stay current and stay safe. Take care, everybody.